Hey guys, and welcome back to the Roman Rodez Podcast. I'm Roman.
I'm Rose.
And welcome back. Thank you for watching this episode. This is episode whatever. I know you don't care about the numbers.
Because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. What really matters
to the story, what really matters is on an island far, far away in a distant country known as America. A false missile alarm set off alarming, basically missiles flew. I'm tired of that voice already.
Yeah, if you've heard the story, there was something crazy that happened to the people in Hawaii.
If you're there.
Yeah.
And I think some
being
people on the West Coast got the alarm too.
Oh, really?
It was basically a text message saying, missiles incoming, seek shelter. 30 minutes later, they're like, false alarm, somebody hit the button, then it was an accidental thing.
Happened on Sunday?
Possibly, don't care. Oh, yeah, it was on the weekend, though, because one person was, I was reading through some threads on Reddit, and a person said, thank God they were at home. They only had to deal with their kid kind of freaking out. Otherwise, they'd be at home, at school, dealing with a school full of kids possibly freaking out. I don't know how many of them got cell phones. And then, it was younger kids. But still, yeah, that makes a bunch of kids too. They'd have been getting, all of them would be getting that text and checking their phone because it goes through whenever it's an alarm, a notification like that. Like if you get an Amber Alert, it doesn't care if your phone's on vibrate or not. If it gets a signal, it is going to let you know. And then the parents coming in trying to barge in, it would have been a much bigger freak out.
It would have been a lot worse.
Because in 30 minutes of people thinking missiles are going to come to kill you.
That is insane. So what happened? Did they say why they got this?
They basically the military or whoever is in charge of the messages hit the wrong button. And it was like
is it that simple?
That's the point.
Hit a wrong button.
That's exactly the point that they're trying to make. That it seems to be. It was just too simple to have an accident of that measure. To basically just tap the wrong button. Now the other side is how many safeguards do you want in place to slow down the notification if there's an actual missile?
It's a lot to process. Okay, so the people. So it was only, you said, the people in Hawaii and a lot of people in the.
I like the way that you say Hawaii, the proper pronunciation of Hawaii, but not the proper pronunciation of any other country or
like
state.
What?
Like, was it Arkansas or Arkansas or something?
Arkansas.
Yeah,
Arkansas.
It's called. It's only called that by people in that place, or like Pakistan, it's Pakistan, Iran, and such. I'm just saying, you're a jerk. But my point, that's be a freak out, man. And one of the funny things I was reading on multiple websites was people, the thing who thought that stuff was going to go down, for the most part, people did nothing. They sort of just went about their day, trying to chill. Yeah, the good chunk of them. If they had a friend or family member who was sharing an apartment with them, or they knew were asleep, they just let them rest. They tried saying a few good. Some people just they went about their normal day. People around them were asleep. They let them sleep through it, and they figured, whatever. There's some other people who did freak out. I want to say freak out, but they wanted to contact their loved ones to see if they were okay. And that's where, like I said, some people, I believe, in the continental United States might have gotten that message, and they were trying to get a hold of people in Hawaii. But because of the phones, I guess it was trouble getting through sometimes. So some people weren't hearing, and they were like, one person, he was talking to his sister in Hawaii, and the call dropped, and he thought for a good few minutes that his sister was dead. That stuff had gone down.
I'm sure you can imagine the worst possible thing if you can contact your
family members. It would have been missiles in that situation. Yeah. It wasn't, she had such bad cholesterol. Must have struck right at that moment. That good Hawaii food. However. But then there was a few people a little bit early on celebrations. I don't know what you would call. You're going to say, it's all gone. One of the top comments was a woman who'd been saving a really rare bottle of wine. Popped it.
She opened it.
Popped it early and had it. I'm assuming it was good, either that or who knows, maybe they had to add some olive oil and herbs, make a nice salad dressing. Yeah. I stole that joke, which was stolen by Frasier, I think. It was on Frasier. Well, anyway, yeah, so, especially with wines, because they peak at a certain point. Like, if you open them too early, they're still maturing, and they could still be good, but you stopped it from being great. Allegedly. Who knows? Maybe she kept the bottle on its side and it got corked. You're not supposed to keep wine bottles sideways. To your favorite movie. Be that way. That's why I don't watch things with you.
Okay, right here I have
another one. I'm just going to keep a few more.
Okay.
One guy got wasted, called his boss, get some short choice words. I quit. and let his roommate sleep.
Some
He said,
flowery
luckily,
language,
he said he's glad that his roommate let him sleep. Otherwise, he probably would have made some bad decisions too. And a lot of also love confessions, a few of those. I was surprised by the military. A few of the military guys, it was like the worst thing was like, oh, why did I let them wake me up? Now I got to walk across the street. And at first I was wondering, why weren't they more freaked out? And it's like, the notification people got, I'm pretty sure was more of a civilian one. I'm pretty sure the Army has their own separate one, and that was just taking precautions. More like, hey guys, everybody get up. This is serious. Not too serious. Nothing's happening, but in case.
Because I have the text right
Are we
here,
hitting
the emergency alert. That
Oh, read it.
right here. It says, so it just says, emergency alert. Ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill.
Oh, because they were supposed to, there's two buttons. One is, this is a drill. The other is, this is not a drill.
So were
The
they
guy
supposed to do a
right-clicked
drill?
when
Was it the
It was
thing?
supposed to be
It was
a drill.
supposed to be a drill.
I believe it was supposed to be a drill.
Okay.
I don't know for sure or care, but yeah, there's basically the buttons are right next to each other. Is and is not. One word that affected nothing at all. Hawaii is really far away.
Yeah.
But for them, it was terrible. I don't think we're making light of it. We're handling this responsibly, like good responsible people of responsibilities.
Well, I mean, luckily there wasn't any threats, any real threats, and you know,
but think of what people could have done if thinking that it was. People might have killed themselves.
Well, I
They
remember
might have
back to
recklessly
when.
driven.
I mean, this is not very. I mean, you could put some parallels to whenever like Orson Welles did his War of the Worlds radio telecast back in the day in the 30s or whenever it was, and people freaked out. A few people.
Mostly people in, like, was it Peru? That's when, like, burned down and murdered the station people.
It's kind of like you say, you know, some people were like, oh, they went along with their regular day. Some people were like freaked out. Didn't you tell me that there was one guy who like confessed his love to his crush or something?
Back in Orson Welles' day?
No. For
that
the
was
Hawaii,
a long time. I'm gonna write her this letter
missile.
now. Put it in the mailbox. Oh, everything's okay. It's a long walk. I don't want to have to like put the saddle back on the mule and take old Bessie out down to the road again. She's gonna get confused. Weren't we just here? She's an old goat. By goat I mean donkey, because in the olden times we refer to old things as goats.
Yeah.
Now it's the greatest of all time. We get it. No, there was a few people apparently who confessed their loves to crushes / best friends. From what I'm getting for right now, it mostly wasn't well reciprocated. Although one, getting credit from another source, I believe I'm crediting this from Reddit. They got it from 4chan. It was a green text story, so take it with a brick of salt. Apparently he confessed his love. She's like, I love you too. And he's like, yeah, too bad we're gonna die. Then this was a false alarm. Everything's good. He's like, yes, oh my God. Oh, I'm getting a message from her. I don't really feel the same. I just wanted you to die happy. Ah! Where are the missiles? Clatter. And then heart.
That's
Yeah. Humorously sad. But bad. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. That was bad for that guy. That's gonna be awkward now, and unnecessarily. He wasn't trying to make things weird. He just needed to get this off his chest. And part of it is like, you'd be like, you know what? Maybe she's a good person too. She cared about your feelings enough to make sure you died right.
so people were expecting to die. That's kind of crazy. Like they were expecting like this is the end for us.
You should always expect to die.
Well, see, that's the thing because we can.
Some people had to have died on Hawaii that day.
Yeah,
didn't make a difference
of course. But
someone made an awesome point. They think it would be interesting to see if there's a correlation or a causation between if there's going to be like a spike in births about 9 months from now. Interesting, right? How does that affect? Or is there going to be a drop? Maybe there'll be a drop. Yeah, like a bump, right?
Yeah.
That and then like China will be like, oh, or like Japan. This is how we get our our population back up. Just like start launching missiles back and forth across the island. We're brilliant.
So I mean, I guess that puts me in a mode of thinking of like, what would I do?
What would you take into account though? Oh, these things you would take into account of things like
what would you
hug
do?
my
What would you do
daughter,
if you-
kiss my dog, text my best friends that I secretly always thought I was better than them, even though I'm super jealous of their amazing talents.
What have you ever thought about if you put in that situation like
Constantly.
What? Because I think the thing is like I don't know, and
where did you have to go with all those words? You're using all the words. Where would you go? Like, just calmly, because it is sort of, it makes you think. It's in the moment, and that's what these people felt. But a moment sometimes when you're in extreme panic, it causes freezing. So I think that was part of why they just went with their normal day. I mean, a part of you realizes maybe, and it's logical, especially with this type of situation. The islands, ballistic missiles, doesn't know how many, doesn't know where they're going to hit. Yeah. It could have wiped out the whole island.
Yeah.
A lot of people did searches afterwards to see where they should go in a case of an emergency, and a lot of them didn't have places that were within 10 minutes, which is about the time you might have, because it was giving you, I think it says, try and reach safety within the next few minutes. Take shelter. And even then, too, somebody suggested going into a storm drain, which I thought was actually a pretty decent idea. Another person said that if it was like for nuclear, though, he said try and avoid the flakes. Like the ash is the big thing you don't want to get. Said you could be fine if the initial explosion doesn't get you, but it's like you want to avoid fallout of any sort in general, because if I believe even if it's a not nuclear weapon, if it's a missile and a big enough explosion, it'll vaporize rock, and like basically you could be breathing in abrasive material, stuff that's going to cut up your lungs and your nostrils and really mess you up. So the best thing to do,
different ways to get injured.
Literally, the best advice is stay inside. Stay inside. That's my life advice. Just stay inside. Never go outside. It's bad.
See, what I was going to say was I kind of the belief system, kind of like, okay, you have to kind of be prepared that you can die at any moments, mm-hmm. and kind of think, sometimes I think, okay, well, you know what, I'm trying to have everything like tied up neatly in a bow. So by any chance, if there's an accident, any kind of freak accident, I'm dead. Oh, well, everything's kind of taken care of. But I was thinking, in that kind of moment where like you have time, like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and then death's coming, like it's not instant. Where's my mind going to go to? How am I going to react? Because that's the one thing I think you can prepare for. I mean, I'm sure we can. I know back in the 50s, when they were worried about nuclear bombing and stuff, even in schools, they tell the kids, get under your desk, and there was some kind of preparation for that, But like, are we
prepared for bombs?
Prepared for that? And then like, where would our minds go? What the heck would we do?
I mean, you have to prepare sort of for what's likely to happen, not necessarily. Well, I guess in general, a good general preparedness is, I think, the bug out bag, a pretty basic setup of copies of your personal information. Yeah. Basically, it's something you don't want to get stolen. All of your like social, your backups, your bank account numbers up to date, and keeping it up to date.
Yeah.
Medical kit, some water, and some. I won't say a spare change of clothes so much as like maybe like socks. You definitely need socks in there because not having socks can kill you in various ways.
Yes.
Need a towel, Hitchhiker's Guide. Other stuff, I don't know. Like I'm sure I looked into it, but basically that basic thing of sometimes you just need to move. Other times you need to stay inside. Yeah. And I guess the thing is knowing when that's likely to happen. Now the missile thing is more of a big deal for Hawaii because it's out there a lot closer to, let's say, hostile waters. Uh-huh. And the continental United States were pretty well isolated with this wall of hellfire from like the carrier groups and our supreme, amazing, super powerful killer army. Would just murder everything that would fly at us. Like, don't get me wrong, there's things you got to be concerned about, but we're good at shooting stuff, really good at it. And we just don't have as much to be worried about as a general whole country, especially because we're so big. Now, different areas, like in bigger cities, you might be more concerned about certain things, certain attacks. The same way you're worried about certain types of crime in different areas. Hawaii, very specific because, like I said, it's so small. Pretty much like, boom, much smaller weapons take out a much larger amount of people, nowhere to run. Whereas Texas, we could pretty much get hit by most countries' entire arsenal, and, we'd lose like less than 0.000% of our cows. Yeah. I guess, all the Texans popping up, fall in the air, bah, 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 eventually hits something. Thing is, the message to shoot into the air wouldn't even have to hit a lot of people. Yeah. One person hears their neighbor shooting off in the air, is like, oh, they're not going to call the cops on me if they're doing it. Just and it's like, what happened, Captain? Oh, it's the barrage of the enemy. Oh, they were shooting at us a lot. We shot the Texans. Not a good idea. And then just,
So what do you think? If you're put in that position, how do you think you would react?
I know exactly how I'd react. I'd go back to bed. That's how I react to most things in general. I'm like, oh, something horrible's happening. Go back to bed. Something great's happening. Go back to bed. Nothing's happening. Go back to bed. I am a sad person. No. It's just like, what else can you do? Especially like, I guess it depends.
Well,
okay,
it's
no,
inevitable kind of thing.
Depends
there's
on
nothing I can do.
what is happening.
Okay.
Because I have seriously considered what to do in the event of a tornado. As South Texas, strong winds, tornado stuff does happen, and you will need to be in a safe, basically away from glass.
Yeah.
So I've pictured, I could go into some of the closets because they don't have heavy things on top and nothing that would really hurt me. Also, my closets are real small, which doesn't sound that bad. I'm sure somebody is listening, like, don't do that. But I think, are under someplace safe where stuff won't fall on me. An earthquake, not a whole lot I can do there. Maybe get outside and hope like a lamppost doesn't fall on me.
Don't they say like if it's an earthquake, like to stay in the door frame?
That's I believe it's myth E.
Okay.
It depends on the style of your house. Apparently, the way that information was really good for people like I think who have well-made houses. If you live in a trailer park, get outside, sir. Get outside and you'll be fine. Yeah. Or not. I mean, it's got wheels under it, so it's like maybe it'll just shake with it. Okay, and then you have to go, what else? Maybe like if there's, another one, train tracks near us, and it's happened before that there was a derailment, and sometimes they carry noxious gases, flammable materials, and in that case, that would be another case where knowing where I am in relation to it is good, where the winds are blowing, so I know, okay, that case, it might be good to, wet some towels, put them over my head, lay in the shower, or it might be the best advice to get in my car and start heading the opposite direction. Those are things that I would take into account. So let's say I'd wake up, say like what it is, if it's a thing I can do that. If it's a thing I have no, it's like missiles incoming, just like pray or whatever. It's like, back to sleep. So yeah, because I do think about it very, very constantly. And yeah, I think the train one, I think might be more realistic than like even a tornado one, because there's been quite a few accidents recently.
There have been, yeah.
And they carry a lot of dangerous stuff, and just general, they're giant trucks of, giant metal death. Danger. I don't know, what about you? What did you think? What do you do? You say?
See, to be honest, I really don't know how I would react.
You're going to be in San Antonio when it happens. It's going to be bad. You're going to be horrible.
I feel like I would kind of have that instinct to be like,
I'm going to die.
No. More so try to get everybody else like
into the freezer or what?
No, I mean, it depends. Like
I'm gonna say you're at work. What happens? You're at work and you get the notification. Oh my God, danger's happening. What do you do, Danger Dan?
Alert everybody. I guess I'd be what?
That's what the messages did.
Yeah, but I'm
presuming those work. Most likely, the way you're gonna find out something awful is happening is when you're like, why are all those people running? Why are they falling suddenly? That was glass and flame flying through you. So what do you do? Like, I'm serious. I mean, you can't just say, I'm going to be prepared and take... What does that include?
See, that's the thing. I know for sure I'm not prepared to do anything, like, drastically to help anything. But, that's the thing. I really don't know what...
You should just start donating blood on the street as you go by. Emergency baptisms. Body of Christ, body of Christ, body of Christ.
That's not how that works. I could baptize in an emergency, but... only children who are unbaptized.
Really?
Or no, anybody who's not baptized. But see, that's the thing. It does take into account of like where I would be if I was here at home. It'd be
so sad, but I would so love to see you trying to baptize all your coworkers. I know all we have is hot water, but we gotta move fast, guys.
That was
this is lentil soup water. I hate lentils. I'm allergic. It won't matter about... Okay, fine. We're going to the next person.
If they reject it, it doesn't count, so I won't even,
No, well then, yeah, I called it. And I was like, no, you rejected it. Go. Go, heathen.
That's the thing. Like, especially where I work, let's say like I was at work or something, and there's a lot of hospitals down there.
Oh, that's good.
So that was the thing of, kind of like, okay, I'd be like, contact all the family members that aren't with me and say, hey, get to safety or whatever.
That'll take way too long.
And
pick out your key family members. Who do you love most? Spiral outwards. I mean, you got limited time.
Yeah. But I would like something like that. I would probably head out to the hospital and be like,
be aware that in a time like that, whenever there's high cell phone use, everything could blank out. It's like if you've ever been to a concert or a big event where there's a ton of cell phones and people are trying to use them all at once, there's not going to be any service. So you don't waste time once there's no service. Do your thing.
I'd be on the move though. Like I wouldn't be like I'm sitting there like
run and text. You're gonna fall down. Then you're gonna get baptized. You're like, I'm Episcopalian now. Float away.
All right.
Let's take
So to finish out,
Okay.
you did your warnings. They didn't work. You tried to warn. It didn't work. You know, you tried to save. It didn't work. Whatever's coming to kill you, you're dying. You're seeing the thing that's going to kill you. It's rolling down upon you. Last thoughts, last regrets.
Damn.
Should have listened to Bobby. Oh man, why did I just not stay in
Why
there?
am I not in bed?
I'm gonna be in bed and like all the lead on my walls is just gonna keep me safe and cozy. My windows made in the 1960s will act like steel against like the radioactive winds.
See, that's the thing now. Like I feel like tomorrow I'm gonna go out and like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I get everything in order, so whenever time comes, I have no regrets. But I mean, like we were saying, okay, right now it's a meteor coming to fall or a missile or something, whatever. You know, I got 15 minutes.
What are your regrets?
Too many to name, I have to say.
Ooh, that's not
too many to name. Too many to
what though?
I wouldn't want to think about my regrets.
You wouldn't want to,
because I wouldn't want that to be the last thing in my mind.
Man. Well, wouldn't hopefully the last thing be like the next thing on your mind? Like, oh well, I guess I'm gonna be like with everybody else. Is that not what it's all about?
I think, yeah.
Or just that moment of doubt, like I'm not sure. Straight to hell. Purgatory. It's like there's nobody left except to get your what's that called? What do I pay? Like the amends to get you out of purgatory? The alms. Tokens, special
bloody indulgences.
You don't say that before you say that. Indulgences. So okay, do I like? Am I supposed to go like seek down? Is that my like I survived because I was so lazy that the universe just could like we can't spare such a lazy potato. They're special. So it's like, oh, I survived. Like, oh, the nuclear radiation's been wiped away by the fire tornadoes. And it's like, oh no, Gilbert's probably in purgatory for being awful. He really shouldn't have died flipping the bird to heaven. Oh, my quest now to find the last Catholic priest so I can indulge you, get you out of purgatory. Am I allowed to buy indulgences for you?
Not exactly how it works.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, sorry, bro. Hopefully, maybe I can tell.
Pray for me. Just pray for me.
Can I tell another Catholic about you and be like, hey, could you come?
Well, see, the good thing about being in purgatory, you can eventually get out and get into heaven.
Oh, it's cool. So I can just wait. Oh, it's basically like whenever one of my relatives goes to jail and it's like I'm too poor to help them out at all. So it's like I guess I'll see you in a few months.
Send good thoughts.
I pretty much have to.
I'm here for you.
It's like I can't accept your collect calls. You know, I don't got a Ouija board, so it's like hopefully.
I think for sure one of the things that is going to be on my mind, you know, even at the moment of my,
be on your mind is probably a few other corpses.
Even at the moment of my death is like, okay, I'm ready to see what's next, because I'm curious to, you know, like what's
rigor mortis.
Rigor mortis,
most likely. Or depending, it could just be like incineration. Or I would just say the next, like, yeah, that's a comforting thought. Get that dopamine, was it the dimethyltryptamine flowing through your brain, being like, oh, turn 1 second into 1,000 years. And
I think one of the things was like I would be more worried about the people, like say, okay, like if I have family members, okay, be more horrified at the thought, and be less horrified at the thought that I'm dying. Be more horrified at the thought that they might survive, and like, what's the world going to be?
You want me to hunt them down or what?
No.
Okay, I'm just making sure. What are my responsibilities after I survive?
I leave you with no responsibilities.
Perfect.
You don't have any responsibilities on mine.
I've woken up into a paradise world. Amazing. I can do nothing. Oh, I'm gonna be like that guy. What is it? It's like at last, I have all the time to eat in the world. I lost my appetite. I lied. It's back.
That's horrible.
For y'all, these are great for me. Oh man, the singularity. I was like, it's all connecting itself, and it's like I have at last achieved perfect fusion. No, stop biting me. And I'll be like the first cyborg zombie. Last meal.
Cyborg zombie.
You know what the last meal might be? Is it gonna be something fishy? So something spicy, because there's no one going to be there to pat me on the back, and I'm going to choke on something. Because I'll be so much enjoying my life without anyone else on the planet that I'll just be like, you know, too joyous. I don't know. Last meal, that sounded sad. Maybe I should go with the classic. Some bread, some wine, some cheese. Yeah? Yeah, okay. What about that last meal? Say, okay, boom, you know, everybody else is dying. The moon's been collapsed by a meteor. Everyone's pretty much dying. You're stuck in your restaurant with all this food around you. Meteors hit people individually. You say, last thing you make. What about you? What's the last flavor you want in your mouth, Yosef? Not ash. Don't go out into the sun. What? Because moon dust is sharp. Moon dust is sharp. I was picturing a salad. It's like, this is how you make a salad. Cucumber's done. Lettuce is done. Bell pepper, you know what? It's perfect the way it is.
Oh, last meal.
Last meal. Man, that is a... Oh, man. You try some of that frog Ross. If you got some of that, go down to the H-E-B Special Deli Supreme.
I think if I was in the kitchen, I'll just try to cook as much as I could and eat it as fast as I could. Probably.
Nice. Decadent. I like. Man, I don't know now, man. It's too many options. I guess the last thing I'd probably eat would be Walgreens pharmacy. No pain.
What? Like just
the
popping pills?
I can't handle this. I can't. Yeah, pretty much. No, I wouldn't go out. It'd be something simple. Something from a can, something from a bag. Probably be, there all sad. Everything else has started to rot, so I'm like eating some raw ramen. This is pretty good. It's crunchy and tasty. Just put a little powder on top. It wouldn't be that bad. Then boom, the rest of the moon just collapse. New continent, right? That makes 7.
If there was a new one,
yeah,
it'd be 8.
Well, I've heard talk about Australia not counting as a separate continent. That some people consider on a similar shelf plate. They want to combine it as Oceania. Google that. I may not be right, but I don't think I'm totally wrong. Check it out. We can Google it. I think but yeah, there's a thing about like how do you Australia is not a full continent.
No, it's part of
yeah.
Kind of like
you assume that there's stuff under Antarctica, but really, do we know with all that ice? We'll find out in about 5 years. Global warming. Oh, but what is it? Coming up next, we're going to be talking about. To tie off the episode.
Sad enough. I think
you made it too sad that you couldn't handle that. Couldn't handle the realness of your last meal. That was the big hanger of like, not like, oh man, I'm gonna miss so many people. Oh man, all this terrible stuff around me. It was like, what do I eat? What do I eat? That was the one that just like shook you to your core. Goodness. Next time, hopefully, we should be talking about the ozone layer. It's fixing itself. That's great. Things are getting better.
It's fixing itself, and that's a great news.
Yeah. Did you not? Nobody does research here. None at all. But yes, that will be what we will be talking about in our next either podcast or shorty.
Probably shorty.
Yeah. Melody.
But
medley.
You'll see it.
Medley.
Keep out for more medleys. The medleys. Keep an eye out for more content on our YouTube channel. Check out our Facebook at facebook.com/The Roman Rodez Podcast. You can find us on Twitter and on Instagram, even though we haven't been posting any new stuff in a while. But keep watching this channel. Please like and subscribe this video if you wish. If you want to see more content,
do it anyway. You don't got just it's right there. Just hit and like us and share and subscribe. You don't have to turn on the notification bell. Just share and like and subscribe.
So have a good day. Thank you for listening and watching us. I'm Roman.
I'm Rodez.
And this was the Roman Rodez Podcast.